I watched this movie twice. Not because I really like it, but this is one of those movies where I didn't get it watching it the first time. So I understand it just a little bit better after watching it the second time. So this movie is available to watch on Amazon and Tubi. Now, here's the breakdown of the plot, synopsis, themes, messages, all that stuff. The story follows Julia Fields, a young woman who moves out of her small hometown to live independently for the first time. Seeking a fresh start after a difficult breakup, she relocates to Florida and settles into a new home. However, she soon becomes aware of sinister occurrences within her residence, including strange noises and unsettling events that suggest a haunting presence. As the narrative unfolds, Julia's experiences with the supernatural intensify, leading to increased tension and fear. The film incorporates classic horror elements such as a creepy landlord and a stalking ex boyfriend, adding layers of suspense and complexity to the plot. So, I might spoil some of it here. So, for safety purposes, cut the video off right now. So, at first, I didn't get it because it didn't seem like anything was really happening in this plot. It was almost like to me it was almost like a watered down version of like a something that's half of Insidious, where it's like, well, what is the cause of what's going on with this entity, this monster? What's the connection between that and her ex-boyfriend and her friend and the landlord? And watching this movie the first time, I honestly would have given it about a 2. Now I can maybe give it a 4 at best. A 4 at best. So, and there's something around here that's, I can't remember where I saw it. I don't know if it implied it in the film that this was supposed to be based on a true story. It's actually not. So, I think something like that is, well, I would say that it's realistic, but then again, I kind of have a biased opinion when it comes to the supernatural stuff because, like I said, I thought Paranormal Activity was boring, but I know people who claim that they've experienced certain things, it might hit them a little differently. But it says the climax of the film centers on Julia confronting the malevolent force in her home. In a tense and suspenseful sequence, she faces the entity, leading to a revelation about the true nature of the haunting and its connection to her personal struggles and past relationships. Thematically, this film explores isolation, the search for independence, and the psychological impact of past traumas. The film delves into how unresolved issues can manifest in one's life, sometimes taking on a seemingly supernatural form. It also touches on the challenges of starting anew and the internal and external obstacles that can impede personal growth. While the film claims to be based on a true story, there's no substantial evidence to support this assertion. The narrative employs familiar horror tropes to build suspense and engage the audience, but it remains a work of fiction. And as I said, it's on Tubi and Amazon. So, what did Rotten Tomatoes? Well, actually, I don't see a rating from Rotten Tomatoes. So, Prime Video and Internet Movie Database gave this movie a 42%. Now, I want to check to see what the Redditors have to say about that. And of course, there's not that many cast members in it. I mean, there really wasn't that many people there. It was really just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, and 6. So the main character, Julia Fields, she's played by Callie Grayson. The landlord is Sam Wells. He's played by Austin Janowsky or Janowsky, whichever. I want to say Janowsky. Sarah Miller is played by Jess Gluzband, and then there's the rest. So let me see if Reddit has anything to say about this. Let me just go the overview, the reviews, and just curious to see what Reddit has to say about it. Did anyone else notice that the front door of the home opens outwards when she moved in, but inwards later? The door opening outward was really awkward. That person has a really good eye. One person says, ghosts do exist. I never believed until one day I lived in Salem, Massachusetts. I was out one night walking the dog, and something, what looked like sack down the body and all that stuff. And wow. One person says, ghosts aren't real though. So I don't know. I don't really know how to go much more in depth about a movie like this because to me it just wasn't much. But like I said, I would have thought that Prime Video or Internet Movie Database probably would have given this less than 20%. But they each gave it 42%, which I guess is okay for a movie like that. Ultimately, I would have to give it a 4. It's not the very worst thing I've ever seen. Like I said, it makes a little bit more sense now after rewatching it, but to me, it just didn't have that same sense of excitement, that sense of thrill. Now, rewatching it, I was probably going to give it just a 3, but the scenes where they actually had the suspenseful parts where, she's laying in bed and she thinks she hears a noise and she wakes up and is checking, or the scenes where the entity reaches out his arm and all that stuff, that alone brought it to a 4, but I have to keep it at a 4 because, again, the plot just wasn't strong enough for me. So, like I said, you watch the movie and judge for yourself. Again, it's on Tubi and Amazon, and it's also on Roku. So, I don't know. You watch it. You tell me what you think. Comment below. Like, subscribe, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Until next time.